Alright, so when it comes to adding and subtracting exponents, or sorry, not adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing at exponents, you're pretty much just adding and subtracting the numbers you're dealing with. So for this example, we got the cube root, that's the 3 check mark thing, times x to the 4th. So we're going to break that down into the cube root of x cubed times x. Well, the cube root of something cubed is just that variable, or that number, so they'd be, in this case, oops, it's blurry. Come on, stop being blurry. Well, anyways, you saw it. So in this case, it'll just be, why is it? Okay, it's bothering me. There we go. So in this case, it would just be x times the cube root of x, because we have the, right here we have the x cubed, and so the cube root of x cubed is just 1x, which we have there, and there's 1x left over from here, so it's x to the cube root of x. So to break it down, what I was saying is, oh my gosh, stop being blurry. There we go. It's like 4x minus 3x. So that's 1x, and that's the whole number you're going to put there. And then we have 1x remaining, because 4 minus 3 is 1. So there's the lone x right there. And so you have 1x down here, and 1x up there. And the number that the thing that I've underlined, those are the whole numbers we take out. So those go over here. And then we have 1 in the parentheses, so that stays in the cube root. So I have another example of this, just in case that was confusing, down here. Here we have the cube root, the cube root of x to the 7th. So another way to think of it is x cubed times x, because remember with multiplying exponents, you just pretty much add them. So x cubed times x cubed is x to the 6th times x, which would make it x to the 7th, which we have back here. So then because we have two cubed roots, that's just, we take them out, because the 3's cancel, just so x times the 1x that didn't have any roots to it in there, which is simplified to, we have down here, x squared times the cube root of x. So what I was trying to say earlier is, same example, but this time it's 7 minus 3. So we're going to have 2, because 3 goes into 7 2 times, and then there's 1 remaining x. So then you take the 2x times the cube root of x. Now, if that's confusing to you, like the what I was doing before, like just do it the old-fashioned way. But that's the way I see it right away, because it's just easy. It's like, for me, I just see it and I know. So for example, in your problem right there, I see the cube root, and I see w to the 4th. So right away I know, well, I have w squared times that. So right away I know I'm taking a w out, and then there's going to be a w remaining. So now we got w squared times w times the cube root of 250 w. So that's just going to be w squared times the w, it's just w cubed, times the cube root of 250 w. And so that, I knew right away, would break down to 125 times 2, because I know a lot of my cubes and my squares, and I know 125 is a cube of 5, so it's just 5 times 5 times 5 times 2 is 250, or 5 cubes times 2 is 250, and so that breaks down to 5w cubed times this cube root of 2w, and then we'll deal with that later, because we're going to deal with the other side. So with the other side, oh man, it's blurry again. There we go. I see the cube root of w to the 10th. So I know that w to the 3 times w to the 3 times w to the 3 times w. So that's 3 times that it'll come, like it'll go into here 3 times with a w remaining. So that's w cubed times the cube root of 432w. And I knew I just kept dividing it by 2 in like a calculator until I got to some numbers I recognized that would be cube roots. So that first one that popped up to me was 27, which I know is 3 times 3 times 3. And then 400, I did 432 divided by 7, or 27, and that equaled 16. So I knew 16 times 27 equals 432. So the 27, like I said, breaks down to 3 times 3 times 3, or 3 cubed. So that would then simplify to the 3 that we took out of the number here. And so that is 3 times w cubed times blah blah blah, which simplifies to 3w cubed. And then that left us with 16w. Now we have 16w in here, and where is it? 2w here. So we can't subtract those just yet because they're not the same numbers in the cube root. So we have to break down 16 further, which is just 8 times 2, and 8 is a 2 cubed. So 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 cubed. And so we pull that 2 that we out, and we subtract, or we multiply it to that. So that's 2 times 3w to the third, or 6w to the third times the, oops, gotta add that in, hold up, times the, there we go, cube root of 2. So now we have the same variables, or the inside, hold up, Jesus, there we go, see, same variables there, 2w, cube root, 2w. So now it's just a simple form of 5 times the variable minus 6 times the variable. And so when the variables are the same, you just look at the numbers. So 5 minus 6 is negative 1, but then you have to add the variable in. So it'd be negative 1 times the variable, which is I had put in parentheses. So negative 1 times w cubed times the cube root of 2w, or negative 1 w cubed times the cube root of 2w, or just negative w cubed times the cube root of 2w. Although I put x there because I'm used to working with x's, but that should be a w.